I ought not to have unlocked that door. In my hallway, I remained motionless, heart thundering, as he appeared through the glass. Kirk, a colleague of my husband's, grinning as if he belonged there. Yet Craig wasn't home. He was absent for the weekend, and in no condition to welcome guests, especially after the intense argument Craig and I had over the phone. My gaze locked with Kirk's face, finding it peculiar that someone so unfamiliar seemed to know all my secrets. Nonetheless, I invited him in. In that instant, I transgressed a boundary I couldn't undo. For what Kirk introduced into my home that night was not merely his presence. It was an upheaval I hadn't anticipated. But let me set the scene. Hello, audience. Before delving further into this narrative, I want to express my gratitude to everyone tuning in. Your support means a lot to me. If you're new or have been following but haven't subscribed, I eagerly encourage you to click that subscribe button. Your support is crucial in sustaining this channel. Don't forget to like, comment, and share your opinions at the end. Every word matters to me, and your engagement means a great deal. Let's delve into what transpired that night. My name is Paula. I reside in Oregon with my husband Craig. We've been married for 7 years. Craig works as a finance manager at a local construction firm. He's reliable, consistent, and always cautious about the people he associates with. For quite some time, I hadn't met any of his coworkers, not even during company events. He would attend alone. It seemed peculiar to me, but he always argued that he preferred to maintain a separation between work and home life. However, 2 months ago he mentioned Kirk, a new colleague whom Craig described as smooth for my taste, but the boss seems fond of him. This was all he said on the matter. On that Friday night, when Kirk appeared at our doorway, I was perplexed. Moments prior, I'd ended another argument with Craig about his distance and my sense of invisibility within our home. He accused me of overthinking, of being excessive. That word, he always wielded it like a knife. So when I heard the knock and saw Kirk standing there, bearing a bottle of wine and a self-assured grin, I felt vulnerable. He informed me that Craig had disclosed our address to him, as he happened to be in the vicinity, so he thought he'd pay us a visit. I should have sent him away, but I was weary of my solitude, my feeling of spectral existence within my own marriage. And Kirk, he gazed at me as if I truly existed. I allowed him entry. He sauntered in like it was his home, complimenting the residence, inquiring about the artwork on display, prolonging his smiles slightly too much. I recall questioning how such a charming individual could coexist with Craig, without constant discord. We settled into the living room. I filled our glasses with wine. Kirk was simple to converse with, almost too much so. He probed about how Craig and I crossed paths, my past before relocating to Oregon. Inoffensive queries they seemed, but his delivery suggested he was digging deeper than my responses implied. Then he uttered something that made me freeze. I once knew someone who resembled you, he said, eyeing me intensely. Hailing from San Diego, sporting the same ardor in the eyes, the same knack for masking hurt behind a cheerful grin. I had never disclosed my San Diego life or my past to Craig. That chapter of my existence was tucked away. So how did Kirk know? As I feigned needing to inspect the kitchen, I stood up, requiring a moment to regain my composure. But as I moved away, I felt it in my marrow. Kirk hadn't dropped by chance. He arrived with an objective, and unknowingly, I had allowed potential peril into my home. I did not immediately re-enter the living room. Instead, I lurked behind the kitchen partition, heart pounding, replaying Kirk's words repeatedly. From San Diego, same fiery eyes, same mask of cheerfulness concealing my inner turmoil. It wasn't chance. He knew something. My past was buried deep with San Diego, every error, every alias, every falsehood. I abandoned it all when I met Craig. He never inquired about my history, and I never volunteered it. It was wiser to keep it hidden. But now, with Kirk lounging casually in my home, sipping wine and scrutinizing layers I thought had vanished, everything felt vulnerable. I returned to the room, maintaining a calm facade. I smiled as if nothing were amiss, but my stomach knotted. So I asked, "What did you imply with that? About someone like me?" Kirk tilted his head and slowly smiled. "Merely a recollection. Some people are difficult to forget." He didn't elaborate. and I chose not to push him further. Yet in the ensuing quiet, there was a shift. The atmosphere grew dense with tension. I could feel his gaze upon me, dissecting me. Not for flirtation, but as if solving a puzzle. Suddenly, I felt like prey. Kirk leaned back, surveying the room before his eyes fell on me. He mentioned that Craig speaks highly of you, strong, independent, the type who keeps him anchored. I merely nodded, uncertain of his intentions. Then he continued, adding an unexpected detail. Last week, he allegedly told our boss that he believes you're drifting away from him. I stared in disbelief. What? Kirk casually sipped his wine. Yes. He hinted at your emotional distancing, suggesting that perhaps your dedication is not as steady as it once was. This echoed Craig's sentiments, but there was a rehearsed quality to it, giving the impression that Kirk was trying to provoke me. Why are you truly here, Kirk? His smile faded momentarily, and so did his voice. Because I recognize who you are, Paula, or perhaps I should say who you were. And I am not alone in this. I stood up, my glass rattling, and demanded, you need to depart. Kirk remained unfazed. Calm down. I'm not here to harm you, but I was summoned for a reason. A figure from San Diego reminded me of a debt unpaid. My heart froze, recalling a past I had vowed to keep hidden. A past only I and Craig knew nothing about. It appeared in my living room, sipping wine with a pleasant smile. I owe no one anything, I replied, though my voice trembled. Kirk stood up, setting down his glass. You will soon. He left without another word, turning back once to comment on the artwork, identical to those hung in the gallery on 5th Street. The door closed and I collapsed. The name, the gallery, that part of my life, it wasn't meant to resurface. Craig returned home 2 days later, unaware of Kirk or San Diego, not regarding the person I once was. The woman I thought I'd buried so thoroughly, I almost convinced myself she wasn't genuine. But now she's been unearthed. And she may strip me bare of everything I hold dear. I scarcely slept that night. I lay awake, counting each moment between breaths, hoping that by morning the truth would vanish. But it didn't. When Craig came back from his business trip, I tried to maintain normalcy. I prepared dinner. I smiled. I even inquired about his meetings. However, something was fractured, and I could feel him sensing it. 3 days later, it cracked completely. We were having breakfast when he asked, did Kirk drop by while you were away? My spoon hung suspended. Why would he? I queried cautiously. Craig shrugged nonchalantly. He had mentioned something insignificant. Said he met you. Said the two of you had a good chat. A chill ran down my spine. Did he say that? Yes, Craig confirmed. I was taken aback. I never shared our address with him. I merely hinted we lived near the park. So Kirk had deceived me. He had tracked me down deliberately. I peered into Craig's eyes then. My husband, the man who adored me. The man who believed I was someone else, safer, cleaner. Almost, I revealed everything to him. But the dread in my gullet kept the words prisoner. Later that night, an anonymous text arrived on my phone. The time has come. Meet tomorrow, 5 p.m. at Riverside Storage. Come alone. Or Craig would find out. For hours, I stood in the dimly lit living room, fixated on my phone, contemplating my journey from that gallery on 5th Street in San Diego. Back then I was needy, youthful, trapped in something beyond my grasp. I aided in hiding a financial scandal, small at first, just enough to keep my position. But it escalated. People were injured. One man was imprisoned. I disappeared before the truth could devour me as well. I had changed my identity, relocated to Oregon, remade myself. Yet now it all returned. The following day, I visited the storage unit. Kirk was there. Glad you showed up, he whispered, emerging from the darkness. What is your request? He replied coolly. I need you to aid me in bringing down Craig. He's occupying a promotion that rightfully belongs to me. Given our history, I hold some influence over you. Should you fail to assist me, your life and your husband's will crumble. He offered me a flash drive containing last quarter's documents from Craig. You inform your husband of the investigation against him, inciting fear, pushing him towards panic. He resigns. I take his seat. You leave unscathed. In my hand, I held the drive, my heart racing. My marriage or my silence? I took a deep breath and crushed the drive underfoot. You've chosen the wrong opponent, I retorted. Kirk's expression turned grim. You've just made a grave error. No, I countered, advancing towards him. I'm done hiding. Do you want me to inform Craig? Very well. I will tell him first. And so I did. That night, I sat opposite my husband and revealed everything. The gallery, the cover-up, the alias, the reason for my escape. For a while he said nothing. Craig remained silent for an extended period. When he eventually spoke, his words were few. I wish you had informed me earlier. I would have picked you regardless. That was the piece that shattered me. We learned about Kirk. It turned out he had a history of extortion. He disappeared before the police could catch up with him. Craig and I are gradually recovering. There are nights when we barely talk, days when we move as if foreign to each other. Yet there is truth now. And for the first time in a while, I feel like myself, no longer a reflection of past errors. Some wounds do not heal completely. But at least now, I am not silently bleeding anymore. What would you have done in Paula's situation? Can a marriage really endure when its foundation fractures? Do secrets preserve or ruin? Share your thoughts below. If this tale stirred you, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Your support is what keeps these tales alive. Thank you for tuning in.